You are listening to the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast, and I am here, yet again, to tell you that you're wasting time. Again, about the wasting time. But it's true. You're wasting time, because only 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. And yet, here you are, focusing on the 80% of the activities that are just gonna give you like the 20% of your results. So, why are you doing that? Why are you wasting time? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Ayla, and for over a decade I've been dedicated to helping entrepreneurs thrive. Welcome to the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. Here we focus on personal growth so your business can grow alongside you. Discover how to optimize your business, elevate your mindset, and truly feel and act like a CEO. This is more than just business, it's about transforming your entire entrepreneurial journey. Join me on this path to unlock your fullest potential. Welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in again. It makes my heart sing with joy. Thank you so much. A while ago, I already did an episode about wasting time, and it was about context switching. Today, we're not going to talk about context switching, but I figure that wasting time is just a pet peeve of mine. There are so many entrepreneurs out there who are overcomplicating business processes, and that leads to wasting time. And that's just a shame, because you could use that time to do fun things, to have a hobby, focus on your family, focus on your health. I don't know what you want to focus on, but if you are wasting your time, then you don't get to do that. So stop it. I think many entrepreneurs have the limiting belief, not even entrepreneurs, a lot of people, being busy is making me a better XYZ, in this case, an entrepreneur. If you have your calendar full with meetings, you can show everybody, look how busy I am. I'm such a good entrepreneur. I am guilty of this myself too, mostly in wifery and mothery, especially in the time when I was a full-on stay-at-home mom. I felt so responsible for everything in the household, for making sure everyone is okay, that I acted like a true slave, and I just would keep busy from morning till night, because if I keep busy, no one can accuse me of being a bad housewife, because look at all the things I did. Look at how little breaks I took today. I am such a good housewife. Did it make me happy? No. Did it make me exhausted? Yes. And this is what's happening in your business as well. If you are keeping yourself busy, it will lead to burnout. It will lead to less love for your business, because you're focusing on stuff that's not bringing you the results that you wanted to create in your business in the first place. That's probably why you created the business, is to have results. And you're not getting those because you're wasting time, which leads to frustration. It leads to less time for your life, your family, your hobbies, you name it. All in all, not fun. In the long run, I think you should focus on the outcome. How you help people in the best way. Because think of all the people that you are helping with your service or your product, whatever you're doing with your business, and think of what the ripple effect of it is that you are doing. And that should be amazing. I think everybody should think about the ripple effect of what they're providing every once in a while. If you're keeping yourself busy to prove to yourself or your husband or your fellow entrepreneurs that you are a successful entrepreneur, then you're doing your people a disservice. You should be helping them. You should not be proving to the world that you're a good entrepreneur. You should show the world by helping your people. And the way to do that, of course, is to focus on essential business activities that provide the highest returns for both your people and your business, which will make it fun for you again as well. Simplified business processes will give you more time for strategic activities as well, which in the end will get you further, more results, blah, 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 blah. I think you see where I'm going with this. That's fun to think about. And now we're going to talk about what are we going to do about this. First of all, and this is something that I always did with all my clients when I was a VA, I would set up a good system that works for you and it has the possibility to work for a team as well. I've worked, like in the past decade, I have worked with so much entrepreneurs in all different, like from all different points of views. I've had very creative clients who were just wanted to focus on creating stuff and had no brain at all for the business side of things. And I've been a VA to VAs, which is fun because you both have the same brain where you just go, we want to make stuff more efficient. So that gets things going very quickly, which is fun. So throughout the years, I've worked with a lot of systems as well. And I very strongly recommend Notion, even though the software itself is a tad more complicated than Asana of Trello, for example. I just find it can do everything. I have my whole life in Notion. I have databases with tasks. It talks to my calendar. I have such a good overview. It contains my documents because you can order stuff really well. What's the word for that in English? Orden? I don't know. It's giving you such a clear overview. And if you get this right, then it will make your life so much easier. And as with every good system, it will take you a bit of time to set it up front. I don't think you should half-ass your way through setting up a system. You know how your brain works, adapt your system to that, and then you go for it. You fill it in, you go for it wholeheartedly. Because if not, if you're gonna half-ass using a system, it's not gonna do its magic for you. So this is something that I go through with my clients to this day when I start working with a coaching client, and this is what we're gonna do in the group program as well. We're gonna look at the system and set it up in a way that it works for you, and it's gonna make your life so much easier. And then when you have your system in place, it's very nice to also define what the 20% tasks are for you. As I said, 20% of the tasks that you do generate 80% of your revenue or 80% of your results. I'd like to focus on results, not on revenue per se. And this falls together with something that I spoke about in an earlier episode about prioritizing in your day. Defining which tasks are most important tasks, MIT, and start your day off with those when you have the full brain space, when you're not suffering from decision fatigue and stuff like that. Make those 20% tasks a priority. Tasks that fall within that category are client-focused tasks, so those drive your revenue. They're content creation, high quality, impactful content. So I'm talking about content creation. I'm not talking about scrolling on Instagram and looking to see what everybody else is doing. You are deep working here. This is something where you keep your ideal clients in mind and you are talking to them through your content. This is really coming from your brain, high focus content creation. I felt the need to emphasize that because I feel that a lot of people, when they are saying I'm going to create content, are just maybe showing up on stories on Instagram, and it's a bit loose. True content creation is deep work. Of course, the next one, if you know me by now, you knew it was going to be in here. It's outsourcing. Hi, outsourcing, always outsourcing. And it feels maybe a bit weird to say that outsourcing is a 20% task, but getting your outsourcing done frees up time for you to work on other high impactful tasks. It's a bit of a double one, because if you focus on outsourcing, you're making time. Isn't that wonderful? You're like a little sorcerer. Then another one is vision and goal setting. It's setting clear strategic goals and aligning those daily tasks that you have with the goals that you set, because in the end that will get you so much further. This is something that took its time for me, because I always felt like vision and goal setting is something that you do maybe every once in 5 years. It's not something that would be in the 20% tasks for me. It would be like 20% of the time out of 5 years, because a vision is something that defines you, it defines your business, it defines the actions that you take. So why should you spend a lot of time on it? While if you keep your goals and your vision, your strategy, if you keep everything crystal clear, then it's going to be so much easier to set boundaries, to say no to other stuff that's not going to help you get there. And so focusing on them more often is going to help you save time in other tasks, because it's very easy to define this task. Yeah, it's aligned. It's going to help me get further. And then this task, it's maybe not. So I'm going to outsource that again. So really spend time on your vision is helping you to become way more efficient. And then the last one that I wrote down is networking and collaboration with other entrepreneurs. It widens your business world, it widens your reach, it's going to help you get more clients. And I already told you, client-focused tasks are revenue drivers, so it falls within the 20%. And then on the other side, just to give you the double take on them, here are some tasks that fall within the 80% category, and that is checking your email regularly, social media scrolling, as I already said, consuming but not creating. It's perfectionism, especially perfectionism in non-essential tasks. That's just killing you and your business at the same time. Administration is absolutely a task to be outsourced immediately because it's not doing anything for your revenue at all, unless you have an administrative business, but then it would be a client-focused task. Handling customer service, even though it might be fun to be in touch with your client and know what they're seeing, what they're up against. But I think there is a difference between client-focused tasks and customer service. Customer service is more the emails that are coming in. There's a tech thingy that's not working. They have a frequently asked question, stuff like that, while client-focused tasks are really getting in touch with your clients. And then the last one on here are unfocused meetings. And I really hate unfocused meetings. That's because I'm always so big on efficiency. I don't have the patience for unfocused meetings. The other day, I was having a meeting with a colleague of mine who was leaving the company that I'm working for. And we had a meeting in which we wanted to say goodbye to each other, which was really awkward because you're just coming on a meeting to say, oh, well, thanks for working, bye. But that you're not going to do that. So we started out by talking about AI for a bit until we finally said, okay, thanks for this all this time. It was fun. And when we ended the meeting, I figured, that's half an hour that I could have used so much better. And in this case, it was a bit of a courtesy because, as I said, you're not just going to click in, say bye, and click out again. But for regular meetings, yes, please keep your meetings as focused as possible. And unless it's a meeting designed for team building, in that case, let it be unfocused, but then that's a goal. For your regular meetings, don't do it. For me, one of the things that's also really helping a lot with being more efficient is theme days, in which you are focusing on specific themes. You're saving yourself the brain space of context switching. And I'm just going to take it back to context switching again, because in the end, it's going to really keep you focused on the 20% tasks. Today is a Thursday, and on Thursdays, I do renovations in the castle and I record podcasts because it's nice and quiet in the house. So it's a perfect day for me to do that, both of them. So it's very easy. I don't have to think about recording a podcast any other day of the week. It's off my mental plate, and it's very easy to choose one of the other tasks within the 20% bracket. Theme days are amazing. And then just to round it all off, I want to get back to the belief. What I talked about earlier is that being busy is not a badge of honor. Constantly being in motion doesn't mean we're doing it right. What I've learned and what I want to share with you isn't that success is about how many hours you're grinding. It's about the quality of time and energy that you're investing. Busy does not equal productive, and it definitely doesn't equal fulfilled as well. And as entrepreneurs, we need to recognize that doing less, but with more focus and more intention, is the most powerful way to grow your business. And you still have space for things that matter most in life, like your family, for example, great friendships, cool hobbies. Those things are so much more important than being busy all the time. And this is one that I hear all the time, and I feel it's a bit chewed out, but it's so true. So I'm just going to throw it at you one more time. I don't think there's anybody who's dying and that's going to say, I wish I was more busy all the time in my life. Keep that in mind when you're keeping yourself busy. All right. If this is something that interests you more, that you want to learn more about, I invite you to go to the show notes and get yourself on the wait list for my upcoming program about how to absolutely nail this. We are going to go into systems, we're going to go into theme days, we're going to go into the mindset behind these kinds of beliefs, how you tackle those. Oh, we're going to do so many cool things. So if this is something that interests you, make sure to get on that list. And I hope to see you there and also in the next episode. Thanks. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. I hope you loved what you heard today. And if you did, it would mean a world to me if you could leave a review. Because believe it or not, reviews on podcasts are actually still used to make sure more people get to see this podcast in their screens and maybe click on it and learn something as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.